In this exact video, I'm going to reveal the behaviors that reveals the true feelings of a man towards you. I'm going to reveal the patterns, the consistencies, the characters it displays that makes you understand how truly it feels about you. Many times we find ourselves in relationships where you get confused, you don't know if you're in for real, if you don't know what they feel about you, you're constantly questioning your the availability and how they treat you. If this has been your case, then you are at the right spot. There are various patterns people exhibit that shows how they truly feel about someone. One of the key things you need to look at is investment. A person might like you, spend time with you, but how much are they invested in having you around? How much of their investment, how much of the time are they investing in you? Are they investing themselves emotionally, physically, socially? Are they actually doing things that takes them out of the place of comfort just to be with you, just to see that you smile and you're happy? Because sometimes they enjoy the company, they enjoy the moments you share, but they're not actually willing to invest in commitment to that relationship. And people begin to feel in some type of ways because they want more, but they're too blinded to see that this person actually enjoys the company, but not really wanting to invest. And knowing a person is invested in you actually goes a long way to up your zeal towards the relationship. So these are some of the things you should look out for: their investment, how much time they invest in you, how much of their world are you invested, how open are they to you as regards the things and their plan. Another thing you should look at is consistency. How consistent are they? Are you always the first to pick up the phone to call, the first to text, the first to reach out? You're always the one planning the dinner dates, the outing. You're always the one building up, momentum for a spark in that relationship. If this has always been one-sided, then you should know that this person actually has a low zero feel towards you. Another thing you should look at is access. How often what's the access they give you to their life? Because sometimes you might be in a relationship with someone and the person is not even giving you full access to the program, the time you see them, the program, the time you meet. They don't give you full access to their private life, to the things they do. They don't carry you along with everything they go about in their personal life. And in some cases, you might just want to say, I think it's just that kind of person. No. A person that truly loves you will invest in you, be committed and consistent, and will give you unrestricted access. I'm not saying they don't have their private life. They do, but sometimes you feel welcome. You know you can reach this person anytime. They make you feel comfortable gaining that access to them at any time. And these are the signs you should know if it feels really, really into you. Another thing you should look out for is low interest. Sometimes you want to reach out for things, you want to do things, but the interest they put in is actually very demoralizing. You are the one that was always stepping up to make things, to build a spark in the relationship. You're the one that's always stepping up to do things. And every time they keep coming up with this low energy, low interest in doing things, you have to overly convince them. You have to overly make them see reasons why this thing should work. And when people show low interest in a relationship, it's either they have someone else they're dedicating that interest to, or they're just not feeling it. But you might not understand that this is the game. You might think it's just who they are. They're just a quiet person. Everybody is busy. Everybody has things they are doing. So we all make times and create moments for people we care about. We could excuse ourselves and find time to reach out, find time to text, find time to do anything that pleases us. So when someone is showing a low interest in the things you do, you should know, you should start considering your stance in that relationship. Another thing is priority. How often do they prioritize your interest? Are they always making it all about them? Every time it has to be what they prefer, what they want, how it suits them. If someone is not prioritizing your welfare, your comfort, your happiness over some of theirs, it means this person is overly selfish and they do not have your interest at that. Because if someone loves you, there's always a bridge to gap. There's always a bridge to to closing the gap. They lose some, they win some. Sometimes you want to, in cases where you decide to pick something and you feel this is what would make you happy, and if it's not going to cost them anything, they let go and they say, okay, if this is what makes you happy. So priority is one of the things you should consider. And if someone is not prioritizing you, then you should know how he feels about you. It could be you don't have a valid place in their life. Another thing is availability. How often are they available for you? When you need them to be there for you, how often do they show up at your meetings? How often do they show up at place you want them to be? How often do they show you up? How often do they make themselves available, even at their, at their discomfort? Because love and relationship is not about comfortability alone. It's for inconvenience. It's for, the sad days. How often do they provide that availability for you when you need it? Another thing you need to also understand that the person that really loves you would be there emotionally, would be available emotionally for you. Do you sometimes have to question their emotional availability on your sad days? You reach out to them and the way they treat you, the way they make you feel, makes you question if this person truly loves you. In retrospect, you realize that if the tables or the coins were flipped, you would do or go out of your lane to make sure they find that succor, that comfort, they find that shoulder to lay on, just so the trying time pass. But in your own case, it's usually one excuse or the other. They come up with flimsy excuse of how they are busy, okay, how they just want to give you some time to, or to put yourself together. I'm not saying that giving you time to put yourself together is bad, but in the course of doing this, how available do they give you that comfort? Do they give you that emotional support? Do they give you that shoulder to lay your heads on in your trying moments? Another thing is you find yourself trying to convince this person overly and overly again of your love. When you see yourself in a position where you overly have to convince people to do things or convince people to see you in the way you see them, then you should truly know how it feels about you, because true love doesn't need more conviction. Love flows naturally, and when a person truly loves you, their actions, their deeds, their words, their everything, their patterns, their consistencies, and their access to they give and the access they give would go a long way to tell you how much this person feels about you. Respect. How do they treat you in public? How do they treat your feelings? How do they treat things that matters to you? If someone is not showing you that respect you so deserve, if they're not giving you that respect you actually give in equal proportion, and you find yourself having to question how this person feel about you, having to question why you need to constantly be disrespected just so you find a place in their life, then it means that they really don't feel a thing about you. It's not a bad thing for you to express yourself. It is not also a bad thing for people to, be quiet and have some sort of, quiet moment. People in some cases live a very quiet life, but regardless of how quiet a person might want to be, they have to exhibit certain characters that will make you feel welcome. And in the absence of all these things I have named, then you need to question where you are. If this message resonates with you, hit the subscribe button and give us a follow so you can have content like this. You can never have it somewhere else.